weeks ago, a friend of mine reached out to me to help me review a CV for someone that he knew. And then I looked at it and my eyes went to his date of birth. And I said, how does somebody get this old and really not know how to write a CV? Like, I couldn't get it. But then I realized that, not everyone knows how to write a compelling CV. So today, we're going to be talking about how to craft your compelling CV to get you that job that you desire.
Hi everyone, my name is Oreoluwa Adekoya and I'd like to welcome you to Tiki Talk. Tiki Talks is that space where we talk about career, businesses, how to navigate the workplace and getting ahead with all the challenges that we see in today's world.
So in my line of work, I've actually reviewed several CVs and I see some common mistakes that people make, and I want to help you to avoid those mistakes today. You need two types of CVs. You need a generic CV and then you need a specific CV. So we're going to start with your generic CV. First of all, you need to ensure that you use the same font size in the different sections. Your headers should all be the same size and the body of your CV should all be the same size. I've seen many a CV that will start out with Arial 10 and then the next line will have Times New Roman 12 and then another line will have Garamond 14 and I'm confused. You know what that tells me? If you don't take time to write your CV, how meticulous will you be if I give you the job? It tells me that you're scattered and you do not pay attention to detail. And of course, more often than not, it's not going to get you called back for an interview. So you need to ensure that your CV is consistent in terms of the fonts you use and the font size you used, right? Secondly, watch out for your tenses. Make sure you grammatically check for spelling errors and for the tenses that you use, right? Same thing, imagine if I'm interviewing you for a communication role and you cannot even write a proper CV, why should I call you back, right? I would go through the different sections and the right tenses you need to use for your different sections so you can know how to flow. So let's start from the beginning. Oh, I see CVs today with state of origin, religion, local government area. Who needs that? Ask yourself, why do I put all these things on my CV? Nobody is looking at it. Even your date of birth, please remove your date of birth from your CV. Guess what? Remember what I said at the beginning? It can be used to judge you unfairly. Rather, let people infer your date of birth from things like how many years experience you have, your education, when you did your first degree, your second degree, and all that. But really putting your date of birth outrightly, it's not necessary. You know what we need? Two things. Your location and your email address and your phone number. Okay, that's three things. We need three things, basically. Also, I learned this recently, actually. I attended a career fair and somebody said that, and I'm like, makes a lot of sense, right? Why do you need to put your address as 10? Aladura Street, Ikate, Surulere, Shomolu, Lagos. Who is coming to your house? Previously, I had my address on my CV, and then he said, why do you need your full address? 9 Akbeno Street, Surulere, Lagos. Who is coming to your house? Are we coming to visit you? No. What we need to know is, where are you located? Lagos, Nigeria is simple enough, and that's sufficient, right? Another thing is people put pictures on their CVs. Well, if you're trying to get a modeling gig or a front office executive job, even though not every time will the picture get you in the door, but it's better to be on the safe side and remove it, right? For modeling gigs, typically they would ask for your picture and then you can send it to them. But like I said, to be on the safe side, take out the picture, right? Okay, so next we move into your profile. What's your objective? I see a lot of buzzwords. I'm a go-getter, I'm analytical, I can work under pressure, I'm here to achieve my organization's goals. What is that? What does that mean? Like, you have mumbled a lot of words, but you have actually said nothing. And this is where you need to take time and sit down and think, who am I? What is the image I want to represent? What are those phrases that describe me? You want to be as original as possible. Guess what? Your originality shows through those words. And if you don't have anything to write, especially if you are entry level, it's better to skip that part than to write something that just shows you mumbled or jumbled some words together, right? If you don't have anything compelling, remove it. However, if you're an experienced professional, right, you need to have an objective. You need to have a profile. What does the profile tell us about you? It tells us about your interest, your experience, and what you want to do next, right? I want to know, are you a supply chain professional? I want to know, are you an HR professional? I want to know, are you an engineer? I want to know, who are you, right? So that profile gives me a summary of who are you before I even look through your CV. So if you're experienced, it's important that you take time to think about it. Now, if you're entry level, you might still be trying to discover, okay, who am I? You know, what do I put in? I actually did this. I wrote all those generic things and oh God, thank God I was still called for an interview. But yeah, you can skip it because it doesn't really add anything to your profile, right? Okay, next we want to talk about your work experiences. You want to list your work experiences from the most recent to the oldest. I once saw a CV where it was a joke to me. Like the guy put his experience from I think 5 years ago. Then the next experience he put was his most recent experience. And then the next one was one about 7 years ago. And I'm like, is this guy joking? Are you kidding me? Like simple chronological order. Put it from your most recent to your least recent. Then in your most recent experience, assuming you are still working in, for instance, Tiki Talks. So let's say you are the producer of Tiki Talks, right? Now, you want to write what you do in present continuous because you are still working there, right? So you want to write it in present continuous. So for instance, producing each episode of Tiki Talks, right? And those are the tenses you want to continue in for Tiki Talks. Now, let's say you worked at YouTube, for instance, before you came to Tiki Talk. Now it's in the past. So you want to write all those tenses in the past. I produced, there's no need to write I, produced so and so movies, directed XYZ, right? So you're writing in past tense. So also every other experience that you have in the past should be in past tense, while your current experience should be in present continuous. Now, I don't want a list of 10 different jargons that I don't know what they mean. You want to focus on what did you achieve? What big thing did you do? Now, sit down and try to think. Numbers really, really help. I manage a portfolio of $1 billion. I manage a portfolio of 3 SKUs or 20 products or XYZ. It helps to give context. I worked with professionals across 20 different countries. Numbers help. So sit down and try to think about the numbers, and please make sure you are presenting yourself correctly and not lying and not misrepresenting yourself on your CV, because it's a CV. Someone can easily make a call and ask somebody about you, right? So you want to make sure that everything you say on your CV is true, all right? So it will take some time for you to sit down and actually think of what are the achievements I did on this job. And it doesn't have to be your personal achievement. It could be a group. We did this. My team and I invented the first XYZ, yada, 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 whatever it is that you do. But you need to ensure that every single experience, in addition to talking about what you did or what you currently do, you also have to talk about what did you achieve on that role. And do this for every experience you got. It doesn't have to be something big, but ensure that you write something significant. I remember my early CV. I wrote my GPA because I was proud of my GPA, even though I did not finish with first class, but you know, all those almost enter first class. And I finished with 4.3 now. I put it there because I didn't have any other thing to write. At least that one will make some people say, maybe this girl knows what she's doing. Or, yes, it's 2-2, but they used to say something when we were in school. They used to say strong 2-2 or weak 2-2 and strong 2-1. So I used to want to project the fact that I finished with 2-1, but my own 2-1 is different from the other people's 2-1. So yeah, just try and find things that differentiate you from the pack, right? Your education as well, it should be in chronological order from the most recent to the least recent. So right, if you're doing an MBA currently, write that first, then your BSc and all that. Really, we don't need your primary school. Yewande Memorial School, who knows the school? It was inside Okokomaiko, excuse me. What is that adding? Nothing. Absolutely. In fact, for those of you that did not go, yes, I'm sorry, the name of my primary school was Yewande Memorial School. And I used to laugh. Like, who names a school Yewande Memorial School? Really, when we look at CVs like this, we used to laugh at all those primary school and nursery school that, see this person, and a lot of times they will now go to Tush University, they'll go to, University of Brighton, Warwick School, University of Warwick, and everything. And you now see the primary school or the secondary school, Eco Boys School. You say, hey! But really, leave out your primary school. Your secondary school, yeah, you could put it there if you want, but the most important thing is your BSc and then your postgraduate degrees as well, right? Now, your hobbies. I see a lot of hobbies like watching movies, dancing. If you are a creative director, and what you're looking for is something inside dancing, within dancing, oh yeah, you can put it. But you want to highlight hobbies that are in line with what you're currently doing, right? Okay, something as simple as reading books, yes, right? But you don't just want to put, hobbies that are all playing games. Some people even put sleeping, like I don't get sleeping. I did not call the person, because you cannot come and, your hobbies are sleeping, now come and sleep on the job that I give you. You're not serious. Okay, next we want to talk about referees. Personally, I don't put referees on my CV, right? But then I heard somebody talk about if you have a referee that is well known in the industry, right? You can actually put their names on the CV. But if you are putting Professor Ajangbadi, Olukula, please, who knows this person? No, maybe somebody that your professor in school from Futo. Sorry, I'm sorry. I went to Unilag, so maybe your professor from Futo, Futa, Unilag, OAU, thereabout. But really, who's going to contact them to ask about you, right? But if it's somebody that you know in the industry and is very well known and respected, right, putting that referee on your CV can get you a foot in the door. You also want to put other certifications that you have gotten, right? Other courses. It could be Coursera. It could be something on YouTube. You learn something by yourself and all. Put it. It shows your agility for learning. You want to include those things. Do you have any volunteer experience? A lot of us work in church, right? And maybe when you're starting out on your first job, you don't have any formal experience, right? Your volunteer work in church is actually work experience. And you can put it. Have you ever been an usher before? Have you ever had to lead people to their seats? Oh my God, you are a leader if you're an usher. Don't underestimate that experience, right? There's so many things that you could have done in the past. You worked with your mom, you worked in your dad's office and all that. Oh, you were just going to your friend's dad's office and then you were helping them out with some things. Put it all on your CV because it shows how you want to show how versatile you are. You want to show your learning agility, right? So these things are very important for your CV. I also want to say that if you're an entry-level person, your CV needs not be more than one page. One page is sufficient because it's not like you have a lot of certifications, experience, and all that at that particular point in time, right? And if you're experienced, depending on your number of years of experience, you can go for 2 pages, 3 pages, thereabout, if you need to highlight some important achievements that you have made. Also, you want to avoid using ChatGPT verbatim in your CV, right? I see some CVs that it is ChatGPT is literally screaming at me like, I wrote this. Now, ChatGPT is supposed to be a helper, an assistant. You're not supposed to take ChatGPT and copy it word for word, right? ChatGPT, when it helps you to write something, the words are like very superfluous, very babados or whatever they call that thing, right? So ChatGPT helps to guide your thoughts. So probably there are some words that you should be using to craft the things that you did, and you really cannot find those words, right? But you want to take what ChatGPT gives you and rewrite it into your own words. Let your CV be you, right? Let it be you, but just use ChatGPT to help. Because using ChatGPT and putting it verbatim may actually be hurting you, not helping you on your CV. Now we're done with the generic CVs. Now we want to go to the specific, especially at the beginning of your career or when you want to make a career change. It's okay to have 2 different CVs or 3 different CVs for different roles. Now, you see a role advertised for and then you want to apply for it, right? You want to ensure that what they're looking for is also mirrored in your CV. You know that a lot of times, if you're looking for a job in a multinational, nobody has time to go through thousands of CVs. Like literally, they get thousands of CVs on a single application. A human being is not going to go through all those CVs. Guess what? They pass it through an app that filters out the CV and they look for keywords. Okay, do you have experience in this field? Do you have a degree? And usually they specify the fields where they want the degrees in. And then they're looking for something specific that you have done. You must have had to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. You want to make sure that your CV passes those checks. So if you're applying for a specific role, you need to now craft your CV and ensure that those words, you're not lying, right? And ensure that it's actually a job that you are qualified for, right? And so look through those words on the job description. We're looking for somebody that has managed, that has created, that has changed, right? And all those verbs of things that they have done, that they are requesting for you to have done, ensure that it's in your CV, right? So what you are doing is you're crafting your CV in line with what the job description requires. That way, you are upping your chances. Again, please don't lie on your CV, because when you get to the interview or when you actually get the job, it will be clear that, okay, all these things that you wrote were not true, right? So it's not going to help you if you misrepresent yourself. Also, in the profile, you want to be also sure that you have crafted your profile in line with the job that you are looking for. So they are looking for a communications manager, right? Then you can craft your profile in, I am an experienced communication manager with over 6 years of experience working across different fields in art, entertainment, FMCG, blah, 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 something like that, right? Ensure that from the profile, it's clear who you are and what you are interested in. And so that gives them the opportunity to say, okay, this person actually fits who we are looking for in this company. You also want to ensure that you have skills written on your CV that are in line with the job description that you are applying for. This is also what helps the job, whatever is filtering your CV, to ensure that your CV gets chosen finally, right? Then there are some jobs that require you to send your CV. Please don't just attach your CV and send it in a blank email. It tells me that you're not serious, you're not meticulous, you're not really ready for this job. It doesn't cost you anything to write a cover letter. And what's the cover letter? Introduce yourself. My name is Oreoluwa Adekoya. I am an economics graduate from the University of Lagos. I have an MBA from Warwick Business School. I have 10 years experience in supply chain management across demand and supply planning, customer service, physical logistics, and procurement, right? I'm applying for this job because I feel that my experience as a procurement specialist, my experience as a demand and supply planner fits into the advertised role of this. 2 years ago, I handled procurement for Julius Berger Nigeria PLC. I'm just giving an example. I'm not advertising, right? But in the email, you can also say things that show why you are a fit for the role, right? I am available for any further clarifications or questions, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. Kind regards, and then put your name and send it. Again, some of you, your email address is not making them call you. Shehu for Shizu Manizo. Bimbo for real, 2024, right? Again, I know people used to do this before when email addresses were a bit crowded, but there's no need to put your year of birth in your email. I know sometimes these email providers, they suggest it to you if your preferred email is taken, right? So sometimes they will put your year of birth at the end of the day. Please don't accept it. Don't accept it. And if you have an unprofessional email address, you can always open a new one that is simple. Your name, your surname, and you can have variations of it. Your surname and your initials, okay, your first name and your surname, but let it be professional, not a nickname, not a cool name, but let it be the name we all know you as, right? My first email address was Ores World. And yeah, it's not bad actually, but I don't use that professionally. I had to create another email address that has my name and my surname. And you can always link email addresses to each other. Like before I got married, I had an email, and then after I got married, I had another email. And I didn't just want to migrate to the email with my married name. So I just linked the two email addresses together. So when I open my mailbox, I see mails that were sent to Ore, my maiden name, and I see mails that are sent to my current email address. So you can do that as well, even if you've made a mistake and you've created an email that it doesn't sound so professional. So I hope you have learned a thing or two about crafting a compelling CV, right? Please remember, ensure that your tenses are correct, ensure that the font sizes are correct, ensure that your profile from the first point tells us who you are and what you are about. Make sure all your work experiences, you write what you have achieved. What are the things that you have done that you are proud of, right? Make sure you have all this. Please remove every unnecessary bio data from your CV. We don't need your date of birth. We don't need your state of origin. We don't need your religion. We don't need your local government area. We don't need the full details of your address. What we simply need is your email, your phone number, and the area in which you stay. I hope you've learned a thing or two today. And please, if you have, don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share it with your friends. You can click the notification button as well so that you'll be notified when a new episode is up. Until I see you again next time, it's Oroluwa signing out.